Life in a body. That's really what the word life means. We use it as a metaphor to say, I'm really living, and then, someone dies and we say, but are they still alive? And we say, yes, they are still alive. It's really not accurate the way the Bible uses the word life. Life means the experience of existence in a physical body. That's all it means. So we can take it beyond that and say, oh, it's also a metaphor for existence or consciousness, but if you're going to miss a lot if you don't keep it on the smallest level first. And if you're going to live your life in a body, there's so many wonderful parts. I try to go really slow and be sensory. So when I eat my food, I want to eat slowly. I want to taste everything in the food. I want to feel the breeze on my face. I want to watch the sun go down every day. And there's just so many enjoyable feelings, from the lightness of this coat against my skin. And life is like that. We have so many wonderful experiences through our body. But we also have another thing, and that's what I want to talk about today, and that's called infirmities. Infirmities are not the same thing as diseases or sickness, at least the way the New Testament uses it. It can refer to times when you've gotten sick, but an infirmity is more like, it's not like a plague, it's not like a disease, it's not like you're gonna die, but it's something messed up about you in the physical. I've got mine, and one of mine, I don't know if I could, sometimes I'm afraid, I think we're all afraid, but sometimes I'm afraid to share these things because I think maybe someone will think less of me when they know about my infirmities. But my experience is that when humans sit together and they share their victories and they share their successes, it divides them. Because now we get insecurity in that, we get pride in that, we get boasting in that, we get performance in that. But if humans sit in a circle and they share their infirmities, there's immediate community. Because if you're honest, it's tough. It's tough to live life. It's tough to live life in a body. It has the most wonderful moments, but it also has a lot of times that you have to just struggle through them. And infirmities are like that. It's when you've got something it's a little bit messed up about you. Now, some people have major infirmities, and even to walk or even to lift their head. These are major life-altering circumstances. But for most of us, we just have a thing about us that's a little bit of a hindrance or a little bit of a frustration. And one of mine is from even a child, my hands were shaky. And I remember as a boy trying to thread a needle once to fix something that was broken of mine, and I was having so much trouble doing that. And I remember thinking, I could never be a doctor because my hands would shake too much. And then the Lord called me. Second one is I tend to get really sick in my upper respiratory. It's very easy for me to go down in my health up here. Even right now I'm a little bit sick. But, sorry, here we go. But like with my hand, I've had to learn, if I'm speaking in public, I can't hold the microphone in my right hand because over time, and there's some weird angles, over time, it's going to shake even more. And of course, age just makes these things worse. So I have to do a workaround. It's like, hold things in your left hand. Don't let your right hand rest up in the air like this. You got to keep it down. Infirmities. We just have to deal with them the best way we can. Paul mentions an infirmity that he has. And if you look in 2 Corinthians 12, I'll read you his famous thorn in the flesh passage. He says, "Unless I should be exalted above measure by the abundance of revelations that he received, a thorn in the flesh was given to me, a messenger of Satan to buffet me." Buffeting means beat me up. lest I be exalted above measure. And concerning that thing, we're talking about an infirmity. Some people say it was his eyes, that his eyes like oozed, and he's always got this gooey, nasty stuff coming out of his eyes, and everyone that is dealing with him has to deal with him constantly wiping this stuff out of his eyes. Concerning this thing, verse 8, he says, I pleaded with the Lord 3 times that it might depart from me. Now, Paul was a pretty tough guy, so for him to get this broken, that he entered into 3 times of prayer with God to say, please, please, I beg you, take this infirmity away from me. He said, I asked him 3 times, take it away from me. And he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, and my strength is made perfect in weakness, as in your weakness. Therefore, most gladly, I will rather boast in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest on me. Verse 10, therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in needs. That means when you don't have enough money. In persecution, in distress, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. And it's a good lesson for all of us, that your infirmities are not just something to be hidden. It's not something to try and overcome. Wear high heels because you think you're too short. Do what you can about it. But he said, actually, they are the weakness of tapping into, I am only a human. I think, one, it bonds you to other humans, and you see them in their problems, you see them in their burdens, and these things come alive in your own heart, and you have compassion. And this bonding is the first principle in ministry. You just can't touch people from a distance, from the white coat, from the barrier between you and them, that I'm the healthy one, I'm the healed one, I'm the holy one, and you're not. But when you can look at yourself and say, I'm a human, I've got infirmities, and I'm making it, but I'm having to battle to make it, and you see them as the same as you, and you build that bridge between you, that's a good thing. And Paul says in this passage that the Lord revealed to him, it's even bigger than that in your infirmities there is an anointing from God that kicks in, because you're not operating out of your human strength where you've already got enough resource, but now you find yourself without enough resource, and you need his help. And when we need his help, we get it. And that strength comes in, and he says, my strength, holy strength, God's strength, is made perfect in your weaknesses. So Paul says, I'll just celebrate everything that's messed up about me. I'll celebrate my infirmities. So let's embrace our humanity, embrace even the brokenness of our humanity today, and go out as ministers to other people. Be focused on them more than ourselves, and find a way to build a bridge. I love you, and I believe that God is going to use your life, and he's building you up, and he's just got so many great things in your future. I have such a hope about your future, even in this screwed up world. And it is truly messed up, worse than any time in my life, but there's still a glorious life for you, a big life for you, and a life where you're making an impact right now. Not one day you're going to be impactful on the lives of others, but no, today you're going to have impact on the lives of others. So don't be afraid of the things that are wrong with you. God's got a plan to deal with that too.